Weigh your water into your lye solution container. Then weigh your sodium hydroxide into a smaller container. Add your sodium hydroxide into your water and mix until everything's dissolved. This recipe has 2 oils. This is our coconut oil. I'm going to weigh that out and melt it. And to that, I'm going to add the olive oil. So this recipe is super high in olive oil, and that's what makes it really good for baby's skin. Now, I don't wash my babies often. They just don't need it. But of course, if they, get covered in gross stuff, you want a really mild soap to wash them with. So this soap is just perfect. The high amount of olive oil creates a soap that doesn't strip the skin, doesn't dry out the skin. It leaves a lot of their natural oils on their skin. To the melted oils, we're going to weigh out our buttermilk. And we're also going to add our carrot puree. So carrot puree, it's kind of for label appeal. It adds a little bit of color to the soap, and the natural sugars in the carrot puree help boost the lather. Once your lye solution and your oils have cooled down to the right temperature, you can add your lye to your oils. Now you can see there's some floaters here. This is not undissolved lye. This is actually just sodium carbonate. Because we made a super condensed lye solution, we did equal parts lye and water with just a little more water just to make sure everything's dissolved. It does create that sodium carbonate easily. So just mix it in. You do not have to strain it. I see a lot of people strain this, and it's just not necessary. It mixes in, it all dissolves, and it doesn't cause any issues in your soap. So using a stick blender, you can mix this soap to trace. I like to get it to a nice thick trace because I like to do a textured top on this soap. Now notice I didn't add any fragrance or essential oils. When it comes to young children, especially babies, they just don't need any scent. Scent is more for us. They don't know the difference. And so why add something that's just not needed, that they just don't need on their skin? So I like to keep mine pure and unscented. But it is a matter of preference. If you're making this for you or for maybe an elder person with sensitive skin, go ahead and add a fragrance or essential oil if you'd like. So I did flatten the soap out and I let it sit for a few minutes until it got nice and thick so that it could hold the texture. Once it was ready, I just used a spatula and just kind of teased up the top a little bit. Textured soap is simply a matter of preference. Some people like it, some people don't. I happen to love a textured soap. Now because this soap has a high amount of olive oil, it is best to leave it in the mold for a couple days. So at minimum 48 hours, you can kind of test it to see how soft it is. Before you completely unmold it, just kind of pull the sides of the mold away. If they're real sticky, then just let it sit a couple more days. But after 48 hours, I was able to unmold the soap and then slice it into slices using my multi-bar cutter. Now again, because the soap has a high amount of olive oil, I do like to cure it for a minimum of 8 weeks. It's certainly ready a little bit before that, but at 8 weeks, it's much harder and more water has evaporated to where you get a little more lather when you're using it.